True power is not merely strength of arms, nor is it measured in riches or the vastness of an empire. It is the fire that burns in those who refuse to accept limits, the will to carve a path where none exists. Among the great figures of history, there was one who would not be bound by borders, who saw the world not as it was, but as it could be. He was not content to stand in the shadow of those who came before him. He was determined to create a legacy that would echo through eternity. From an early age, he was shaped for greatness. He studied under the wisest of men, trained among warriors, and carried within him a vision greater than any king who had come before. His mind was as sharp as his blade, his heart unshaken in the face of danger. Where others saw obstacles, he saw opportunities. Where men hesitated, he advanced. No land was too distant, no enemy too great. With fire and steel, he marched across the known world, but conquest alone was never his purpose. He did not seek to destroy, but to unite. He brought together nations that had never before stood as one, blending cultures, ideas, and people under a single banner. He was not merely a warrior, he was a visionary, a ruler who understood that true dominance was not won by swords alone, but by the minds and hearts of those who followed. He led his armies to the edges of the world, through deserts that swallowed men whole, over mountains that had never been crossed. And yet, even as his empire grew, his thirst for discovery remained unquenched. He was not satisfied with what had been achieved. He sought what lay beyond, always pushing forward, always chasing the next horizon. Yet even the greatest among men are still mortal. Time was not his ally, and destiny had written an ending even he could not conquer. His empire, built with unmatched brilliance, would be divided, but his name would never fade. The world he reshaped would forever bear his mark. He was more than a king, more than a conqueror. He was a force of nature, an unstoppable storm, a man whose name would live long after the lands he had walked had changed beyond recognition. His story was one of triumph and ambition, of relentless drive and an unbreakable will. Who am I? I am Alexander the Great,